Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Welcome back to my channel, Aristoria, back with me, Reyhan Azra Hakim. And today we are going to discuss about cultures and comparative literature. In this topic, we are going to see how literature can affect the cultures of a region, and it will affect its social culture. So let's start the discussion. For centuries, people have felt the need to express their opinion on things and events happening around them and to them. The necessity to demonstrate and locate their own position in the spatial and temporal dimension naturally led to the process of documenting these events in various forms and by various media, such as imaginative literature, where it proved to be one of the most vital tools to reflect the happening around us. Literature is seen as a reflection of culture and society, portraying people's idea and dreams set in certain time and space framework in the most creative and imaginary way. It both depicts and inspires social changes and is often treated as a credible source of cultural representation. Literature and culture in the Middle English. Literature and culture are deeply interrelated and both have a strong relationship with each other. Because during years and from the oldest of time, literature embodied culture. The first literary work in English language that conveys the cultural context about lives is written in the Old English, which appeared in the early Middle Age. And here we mean Beowulf from Anglo-Saxon literature, which is a heroic epic poem. Usually, many writers would like to write about heroine epic poem or stories in the Old English, telling the story of how the heroes destroyed the evil and restored their glories. In the poem of Beowulf, the hero Beowulf himself had to face many battles against the devil called Grendel. Grendel's mother, a sea serpent, and a dragon. Generally, this poem of Beowulf in Old English literature display the actual history of ancient Old English period, in which the heroes went to campaign, fighting against the devil or bad things, and finally returned home with glories. In the 12th century, the new form of English known as Middle English evolved, which started the Middle English literature. There were three main categories of Middle English literature: religious, courtly, love, and Arthurian. The literature written in England during the Middle English period reflects fairly accurately the changing fortunes of English. French language was best understood by the upper class. The book they read or listened to were in French. The most significant Middle English writer was Geoffrey Chaucer, who was also called as the father of English literature and was widely considered as the greatest English poet of the Middle Ages, and wrote the Canterbury Tales. Canterbury Tales is a collection of stories in a frame story between 1387 and 1400, giving the general prologue of much less portrait gallery of contemporary types and constituting in the variety of the tales a veritable anthology of medical literature. In the Canterbury Tales, it reflected the diverse view of the church in England. After the Black Death, many people began to question the Church of England and even to start new monastic order. Several characters in the Canterbury Tales are religious figures, and the very setting of the pilgrimage to Canterbury shows the religious and significant theme of the cultural context in England. So here's the conclusion about literature and culture in Middle England. Literature stands as a voice that expresses values and beliefs, and so how people live as individual or as a group with this perspective and how their cultural life was and how their culture culture, and tradition used to be. Literature becomes the ideal tool to show the learner the English speaking world and to lead them to discover English culture. It gives a great opportunity for the learner to increase their world knowledge as they will have access to a variety of contexts and which is undoubtedly related to the target culture. So what is the role of literature in cultural and societal development? Literature provides many uses in society, though some of them may also be accomplished by electronic media such as television. These uses include preservation of language. If everyone is reading the same thing throughout the generation, then the language used will be handed down from one generation to the another. Think of where you know the word tea and dough from. Um, the second one, they paint the ideal of society at the current time in times of war. Villains usually become the enemy nation. In cultural decay, the villain become the people in charge of the society. Likewise, in civil prosperity, the villain becomes those who threaten the society, such as crime lords and other criminals. And the third one, literature provides an entry point into improving the skill of reading. So that's it, our discussion about the topic. And thank you for watching. See you again in another video. Bye bye.